Once upon a time, a guy with more dirt on the world's elite than WikiLeaks found himself dead in a room full of broken cameras, sleeping guards, and redacted evidence.
Regarding Jeffrey Epstein. We are now learning of serious irregularities at this facility that are deeply concerning and demand a thorough investigation.
But the story doesn't add up, and now the people who promised to tell the truth are the ones covering it up.
Declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there, because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would do that.
There's a moment where you had some hesitation about Epstein, releasing some of the documents on Epstein. Why the hesitation?
I don't think I'm not involved. I never went to his island.
Are we still talking about that?
Well, are you on the list or not? It's weird that whenever it comes up, you just tell everyone to relax.
But now, once in power, they're saying they won't, with the Department of Justice and the FBI both saying that there is no Epstein list, and that he clearly committed suicide. Yet only a few months ago, the Attorney General seen here in the left, she stated that there was a list.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
And now we're getting this.
In February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that.
And this has become a joke because every time you ask or journalists ask what really happened, Trump and his cronies are acting like you're the crazy one.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
For Trump to flip like this, something else is clearly going on. What that is, I don't want to predict, but what I have done is created a timeline with its primary goal to demonstrate step by step how Jeffrey Epstein was not just a criminal who slipped through the cracks, but a man who was actively protected by the very systems meant to stop him. With one of the weirdest points being that it reminded me of a movie.
I'm Dana Sabota, State Attorney General. You got DEA, ATF, FBI, all wanting their pound of flesh.
Miss Sabota, I have Governor Clinton on the line.
See, I'm gonna walk out of here. I'm gonna walk out of here.
No, he's free to go, boys.
Before we go any further, please hit that like and subscribe button. It's free and helps the channel and the video grow. The rise of a shadowy network. Epstein was raised in a middle-class neighborhood in New York in the 1960s. Went to school, went to college, and managed to get a job at Dalton School teaching physics without a degree or qualifications. In 1976, he got a job at Bear Stearns, an American investment bank.
Jeffrey Epstein lied on his resume about his education. None of his colleges have ever heard of him. When I told him he'd lied, he admitted it immediately. And he did it in a way that was very convincing.
Epstein was fired in 1981 over murky circumstances, and then he set up his own company, and then he was picked up by Hoffenberg, where Epstein got caught up in a significant Ponzi scheme, and he got away with it.
Jeffrey Epstein told me he was a cooperating witness for the United States Department of Justice in the past, and he had traction with them.
You heard right. He was a cooperating witness with the DOJ. And we start to see this pattern over and over again, a layer of protection. And it's around this time that Ghislaine Maxwell enters the picture, and together they start to collect a who's who of power. Trump, Andrew, Clinton, and Les Wexner, the former head of Victoria's Secret, and somehow Epstein gets a hold of all of his money.
Do you consider yourself to be bisexual? No. Okay. In any event, you did develop a sexual relationship with Leslie Wexner at some point in time. Is that true? No.
Epstein told me how he planned to manipulate and control Leslie Wexner's fortune of billions of dollars so that Jeffrey Epstein could invest and make substantial income
Between 1991 and 2006, Epstein oversaw the sale of $1.3 billion worth of stock from Leslie Wexner's companies. Wexner breaks off their relationship because he cites that $46 million being stolen by Epstein, yet no charges were ever pressed. In 1990, Jeffrey Epstein buys his Palm Beach mansion. The year is 1992, and here's Donald Trump partying with Jeffrey Epstein at Mar-a-Lago. Between 93 and 97, flight logs showed Donald Trump taking at least 7 flights on Epstein's private Boeing 727 because the Lolita Express wasn't just for show. And in 1996, Epstein, for the first time that we know of, is reported to the FBI.
I got back to New York City. When I called the FBI, I laid it out very specifically. I said, I'm reporting these people, Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell. I told them everything. And I could tell that he believed me. So I really had believed that he was going to take care of this. And then we just actually did not hear back.
A year after Maria Farmer's report, model Alicia Arden also reported Epstein, but this time it was to Santa Monica PD.
I drove to the Santa Monica Police Department to file a police report. I don't remember him ever being investigated. No one called me. He didn't get in trouble over it. It was like nothing really ever happened.
And we're not even beginning to touch the surface on how weird this gets, because Maria Farmer gets a phone call from Ghislaine Maxwell when she returns to New York.
And then I found out that they knew that I'd reported them to the FBI.
How do you do that? Who in the FBI got in contact with her? The very next year, Epstein buys Little St. James in the Virgin Islands, a private playground for the world's elite. In the late 1990s, Jean-Luc Brunel, French modelling agent, allegedly begins supplying underage models to Epstein. In 1999, at Mar-a-Lago, Ghislaine Maxwell meets Virginia Giuffre. And in 2001, she's trafficked to London and she meets Prince Andrew. Crimes, a cover-up, and a secret deal. In 2002, Donald Trump claims that
he's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side.
We have a witness to Prince Andrew with Virginia Giuffre.
I saw Prince Andrew. He was at the pool. He was with, at that time, an unknown girl to me. She was young. She didn't have any top on. They were engaged in foreplay.
In 2002, Virginia Giuffre, or Virginia Roberts, manages to escape Epstein when sent on a massage course to Thailand. She meets a boyfriend, they get married and move to Australia.
Called Jeffrey to let him know that I was not coming back and I was not bringing the little Thai girl back, and he said, you know what, have a nice life, and hung up the phone.
Between 2000 and 2006, Eric Weinstein was summoned to a meeting with Epstein. Weinstein's a mathematician, a physicist, but he also worked for American venture capital. That means he's in investment. His account of his meeting with Epstein is pretty bizarre.
When the meeting was over, I immediately called my wife and I said, I have just met a construct. She said, what do you mean? I said, this person is not who they claim to be. Somebody has constructed this human being to be something that they are not, which is a hedge fund genius. Somebody who could understand the euro and the yen like nobody else. Bullshit. Not true. I believe that whoever constructed Jeffrey Epstein was running multiple different programs through the same thing, having put in a large initial investment. It wasn't about one thing. If you build a mall, you don't just have clothing stores in the mall, you have a food court in the mall.
In 2005, Maxwell approached Donald Trump to write what can only be described as a love note to Epstein for his 50th birthday.
There must be more to life than having everything. Yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is.
Nor will I, since I also know what it is.
We have certain things in common, Jeffrey.
Yes, we do, come to think of it.
Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that?
As a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you.
A pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret.
This has to be one of the creepiest things I've ever read. It's up there with Jimmy Savile, who dropped hints in all of his TV interviews. This doesn't seem to be any different.
Is it true, sir, that you have what's been described as an egg-shaped penis?
Finally, in 2005, after a mother made a serious complaint, Palm Beach PD starts to investigate Jeffrey Epstein. He hired some of the best defense attorneys in the country, including those that had defended Clinton during the impeachment and Alan Dershowitz. They then hired private investigators to ruthlessly go after all of the victims. Then things started to get really weird. The FBI took over the case, but they said they weren't going to cooperate with the local police. The Attorney General also started having back deals and wouldn't cooperate or give any information over to any of the victims. This is Maria Villana, a former assistant to the US Attorney, trying to explain to one of the victims' lawyers what was going on.
I remember her telling me that there's just a lot that I want to tell you, and I know that your heart's in the right place, and mine is too. There's a lot that I want to tell you, Brad, that I can't tell you.
I felt as though I really could not protect the victims.
And here's where it gets wild. That was the chief of police saying he can't protect the victims. It turns out that the state attorney had given a deal to Epstein. We'll come back to Acosta later. After this deal, Epstein was given immunity from all further charges related to this, both in the state but across the entire country. And that included multiple co-conspirators. The attorneys and the victims weren't even told that this proceeding was taking place.
2 years now after his arrest for soliciting prostitutes, Palm Beach billionaire Jeffrey Epstein pleaded guilty today.
The guilty plea and deal end a years-long process that could have sent Epstein to jail for 15 years. He agreed to serve a total of 18 months in the Palm Beach detention facility.
The chief of police was so shocked at this, he actually wrote to the families.
I did not feel that justice was sufficiently served, and that I was referring the case to the FBI.
Now, if you thought Epstein's punishment meant justice, think again. His sentence at Palm Beach County Stockade was a joke, engineered by the rich for the rich. Jail records show that the very day Epstein arrived, supervisors called him a first-time offender who needed liberal access to his private room and special privileges, including a TV. He was housed away from the other sex offenders. The jail let him pay for deputies to babysit him so he could work outside the jail.
Are you released from jail at some time? Do you have to report back to jail on a daily basis?
Yes, I report back to jail at 8 p.m.
Every single day?
Yes, sir.
And is it 7 days a week that you're out on work release?
No, sir.
How many days a week are you out on work release?
6.
And of those 6 days, how many hours per day are you out on work release?
12.
At a fake non-profit he set up just before the plea deal. He even got hot water tap installed for him, and according to attorney Bradley Edwards, Epstein used the work release to commit sex acts while he was supposed to be in jail. Logs of his visitors were destroyed by police, meaning Epstein was back to his old crimes under government protection while supposedly serving time for those exact crimes. Does that sound like justice to you? In 2007, somehow Maxwell and Epstein tracked down Jeffrey.
And I get a phone call from Ghislaine one day in Australia. I'm in Australia. I was like, how the hell did she just find me? Like, I've been out of their life for so long. What's going on? She's like, have you talked to anybody? Have you told anybody what's happened? Like, you know, have you reported us or anything? And I said, no, I haven't spoken to anybody. Okay, good, you stay like that, you stay quiet. The next day, Jeffrey calls me with his lawyer on the phone, and he asks me the same questions. Have you talked to anybody?
8 years after Maxwell has recruited Virginia Giuffre from Mar-a-Lago, Trump finally bans Epstein. In response to this lack of justice in 2008, 2 victims filed against Epstein once again, as well as other people. Whilst Epstein was on probation, he was followed by a private investigator who saw him in New York, at his island, at airports, going on helicopters to God knows where, and the private investigator reported this to the police.
Every time I brought the probation office a case, they kept telling me the same thing. What would you like us to do? He's a celebrity.
Does that sound like justice? A story often missed in 2009. Jeffrey Epstein had a butler, and the butler claimed that he had Epstein's journal. We don't know where it is, but Alfredo in 2010 was charged and sent to jail. After serving 13 months of an 18-month supposed prison sentence, Epstein goes to New York and he hosts a party which includes Prince Andrew and Woody Allen as some of the major guests to celebrate him getting out of prison. And this was when Andrew was caught in Central Park with Epstein in this now infamous photo.
It was definitely the wrong thing to do, but at the time I felt it was the honourable and right thing to do.
In 2011, the madness continued. The district attorney's office in Manhattan, New York, put in a request to downgrade Epstein's sentence to the least restrictive in the sex offender registers list. The judge threw it out and was shocked that the request had been put in. It was also around this point that these photos started to emerge, and we had the title Prince and the Perv by New York Post in 2011. 2014, and Jeffrey adds her name along with another Jane Doe to the court case filed in 2008. Yes, it's already taken 6 years to get this far to try and get justice caused by Acosta giving out a very, very, very lenient sentence to Epstein. In 2015, Jeffrey filed a defamation lawsuit against Maxwell in federal court in New York, all because Maxwell was claiming that Jeffrey was lying through her teeth. 2015 was also the year that Epstein's butler, Alfredo Rodriguez, who had stolen the Tell-All Black book, dies in prison from cancer. 2016, and we get back to Alex Acosta, who is trying to become Labour Secretary for the Trump administration. However, according to the Daily Beast, in an interview, Alex Acosta was justifying his decision about Epstein and giving him a lenient sentence by suggesting that Epstein belonged to intelligence and that they should leave it alone with Epstein. 2017, and Jeffrey and Maxwell settle out of court in Jeffrey's favour. 2019, and Epstein is arrested. But before the arrest, there was a weird incident with the British Prime Minister talking about whether or not they should investigate historic crimes, like Epstein's.
One comment I would make is I think an awful lot of money, an awful lot of police time now goes into these historic offences and all this malarkey, and 60 million pounds I saw was being spaffed up the wall on some investigation into historic child abuse and all this kind of thing. I mean, what on earth is that going to do to protect the public now?
Later that year, Acosta is put in front of the press to defend the deal he made with Epstein.
And the New York prosecution offers an important opportunity to more fully bring Epstein to justice.
This is nothing short of bizarre, because he's praising an office for doing the job he didn't do. But within 2 days, he resigns as Labour Secretary.
He has been a fantastic Secretary of Labor, and Alex called me this morning and he wanted to see me, and I actually said, well, we have the press right out here, so perhaps you just want to say it to the press. This was him, not me, because I'm with him.
And this is where we end part 1 of our timeline, with the death of Epstein. Maybe a suicide, possibly a murder, but we'll discuss this more in part 2. What I'd like to know are your thoughts on the FBI, the police. Was this a cover-up? Put your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like and subscribe button. It's free and helps the channel grow. In the meantime, I'd like to say a big thank you to all of my Patreon and YouTube subscribers. You keep this channel going and growing. If you'd like to become one, please hit that link in the description. If you enjoyed today's video, you might also enjoy my book, Manufactured Fear, where I list how the political elites of Trump and Farage use fear to scare you into voting for them.